those mittens, pommel those horses, and gym all of the gymnastics. We're talking about Olympic TikToks. Like most people, more and more, I feel like I'm getting my news directly from TikTok. I'm not the type of person who just goes online and Googles news to try and learn things. That's what I have algorithms for. But it also means that whether I like it or not, this week I learned more about the Olympics than I have ever done so in the past. And I kind of love it. One moment I'm watching a TikTok about how male gymnasts are feeling each other up.
So how do you think you get that job?
And in the next, I'm watching a US fencer fangirl over meeting Steph Curry. Oh wait, did I say a US fencer? I meant two-time gold medalist Lee Kiefer, who is just casually making TikToks about meeting celebrities while also proving she is the best in the world. TikTok has completely revolutionized the way that we as people can consume media surrounding special events, especially sports. And you all need to understand, I do not consume sports media. If someone tells me about a basketball player, my first question is, oh, which Kardashian have they dated? Yesterday, my brother challenged me to name 3 players on the Warriors. I couldn't, and I live next to Chase Stadium. But that's exactly why TikTok is perfect for me. I don't want to have to sit through hours and hours and hours of Olympic footage just to realize that the US somehow sucks at all of the shooting events. I just want all the interesting Korean gun women served up to me on a silver platter. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to go over the last couple days of the Olympics and talk about some of the fan favorite stories that have come out, especially over TikTok, which I'm excited to learn about. Because last week, if you had asked me what my favorite Olympic moment was, I would have said it was a tie between the 2012 Olympic swim team lip syncing to Call Me Maybe and when the Rio de Janeiro swimming pool turned green and no one could figure out why. It also helps that this year a lot of the athletes have their own personal TikToks, which means we're getting a first-person account of what it's like to compete in the Olympics and live in the Olympic Village. And without a doubt, the #1 superstar I've seen emerge on TikTok over the past couple days has been US rugby player Ilona Maher, who outside of being an absolute beast on the field, is also a TikTok creator with over 2 million followers talking about body positivity. And I have never been more invested in an athlete's success. 2 days ago, I thought rugby was the British word for American football. But through a mixture of Ilona's own natural charisma and people sharing her rugby highlights, she has been in center stage this Olympics. All of her socials have been blowing up, and frankly, I can see why. She's awesome, and she's just funny.
A man just talked to me. He asked if I could move forward in line because I was holding everyone up. I don't know, I think our wedding colors would be like a forest green or something.
Her message of body positivity, especially being a very muscular woman herself with her catchphrase, Beast Beauty Brains, is very charming and positive. But she's also been very active on socials, sharing her experience in the Olympic Village, answering questions, and overall just keeping people updated. Over the past couple weeks, every single video she makes on TikTok easily gets millions of views. And to make things even cooler, a couple days after everyone fell head over heels for her, the USA women's rugby team had a historic win, getting the bronze medal, the first medal the US has ever gotten in that event. Y'all, I was so hyped when I read that. I have never gotten that feeling from a sports game before. My brother played D1 college baseball for years. I went to so many of his games and I was more invested in Ilona's journey than I ever was in his sports career. Sorry, Sam. But that's the bizarre thing about the Olympics. I am getting so invested in sports, I do not understand. One moment I'm watching someone make fun of fencing because they're just sort of bobbing around, and then I swipe and the next video I get, they're fighting like this.
I just want to take you back 20 seconds ago. This just happened at the Grand Palais on your right. It is Lee Kiefer from Lexington, Kentucky.
I don't even understand what happened there, but it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Did y'all know that skateboarding was added to the Olympics this year? I'm not gonna lie, every skateboard trick kind of looks the same to me, but I do think it's really funny that they get to wear AirPods while they compete. Because the TikTok content cycle is so short and so quick, moments can live and die within a matter of hours. One moment, everyone is freaking out because someone accidentally sat in a chair that was meant for one of the athletes, and the next, people are screaming because a man is sleeping on the men's gymnastic floor, and people love it. This is Steve. I'm so sorry, Steve. I do not know how to pronounce your name, and I am scared to even attempt it. He is another recent TikTok darling who is on the male gymnastics team, and he has been dubbed the specialist. He initially got a lot of attention because the cameras kept panning to him as a member of the team, as he was seemingly doing absolutely nothing during the entire gym meet. In fact, it seemed like sometimes he was even taking a nap while all of his teammates were competing. So naturally, people became curious. Who was this? Why was he there? To my understanding, the way gymnastic meets work is that there are multiple events. While a team is comprised of 5 gymnasts, not every gymnast is competing in every event, only the ones they're best at. That way they don't get too tired out, and they're only being scored on the ones they are truly best at. But even then, Steve is an exception, because Steve is only competing in a single event, the pommel horse. This thing. They flew this man to Paris to compete in a single part of a single event that doesn't even involve actual horses. And TikTok was losing their minds over Steve. People were wondering, is he even good at pommel horse? Should he have been replaced with another gymnast who could compete in more events? No. We have to wait. People were so excited, laying in wait as Steve sat on the gymnast floor for hours. They even had a countdown clock on screen until Steve was going to compete. They were calling him Clark Kent. They were saying he was Steve from American Dad. Even news outlets were referring to him as the specialist. And while TikTok was collectively losing their minds over this man, he was sitting there blissfully unaware of his newfound fame. But eventually, the end of the meet comes and it's finally time for Steve to compete. And Steve kills it! He gets a high score, and the US men's gymnastic team gets their first medal in nearly 20 years. And of course, even Steve has his own TikTok, although he hasn't posted there in months. Oh my god! Speaking of gymnasts, Simone Biles. Simone Biles, one of the greatest athletes of all time, highly decorated, competed in the Olympics on an injured leg, pulled off a move that no woman has ever pulled off before, and led the US women's gymnastic team to another gold medal is obviously amazing. But that's not what I want to talk about, because as amazing as her entire performance was, I was caught completely off guard by the appearance of a wild animal in the gymnastics stadium. Uh-oh. Snoop Dogg is here. I'm not sure why, but for whatever reason, Snoop Dogg has become the de facto mascot for the US team this Olympics. People are referring to him as the emotional support Snoop Dogg as he just wanders from stadium to stadium interacting with all of the athletes. It's almost like he died in Paris 20 years ago and he's just sort of haunting the arenas. I know he was somewhat involved. He even got to be one of the Olympic torchbearers for some reason, but every single person I ask doesn't seem completely certain why he's there, but they're just happy he is. It's almost like a game of Where's Waldo. You'll be watching an Olympic event and then all of a sudden they'll cut to the crowd and there's Snoop Dogg losing his damn mind, and he's even getting to commentate some of the matches.
As you see it, don't stop to the casket drop. They rocking and rolling, back and forth. Give me that. No, I need that. Nope, over here. Nope, over there. What about over there? Nope, what about there? Nope, give me that. I need that. That too. Nope, sit down somewhere. Get down. Wait a minute. Hold it. Way up in the sky. Now down. Back up. Over there. Now over here. Get out the way. Move. I told you we need that.
Whoever's idea it was to fly him in definitely needs to get paid a stupid amount of money. But another part of the Olympics that I am super excited to talk about, because it is one of the few parts of the Olympics I do pay attention to every year, is the behind the scenes logistical drama. Because for every Olympic underdog story that comes to success and is exciting, there's also a US decorated swimmer who pretends to get mugged for attention. One of the biggest complaints about the Olympic Village that I've seen talked about on TikTok is the utter lack of food.
Have a pretty severe shortage of food. There are over 10,000 professional athletes from across the world without adequate food. See how that might be a little bit of a problem? This article said that the organizers plan for an average of 2.5 daily meals per athlete and 600 tons of food every single day. Well, apparently They were wrong.
From what I can tell, the Olympic Committee planned to be able to feed every athlete about 2.5 meals, but miscalculated the fact that these very fit peak of human condition marble statues eat significantly more than the average person does, which has led to huge shortages of things like chicken and eggs, which are key sources of protein.
France is trying to push a healthier plant-based diet, and athletes are saying it is not cutting it. They don't have enough calories, enough protein, and just enough food in general. Second reason for the issue is that the Olympic Committee has come forward saying they are having some supply issues. In other words, they can't get enough food. The third reason for the complaints is some athletes have said that they have received raw meat. In fact, the entire Great Britain Olympic team has been told not to eat any of the food at the Olympic Village.
So now not only is there not enough food, but there's also the danger of food poisoning right before the most important competition of an athlete's entire career. This has even led to some countries like Great Britain bringing in private chefs for their team and forbidding them to eat the actual Olympic Village food, which has called some people to talk about the actual fairness of the Olympics. Because while Great Britain has hundreds of athletes and the resources to fly in private chefs, other countries like Belize have a single athlete competing and aren't going to spend the resources to make sure that they're well fed. But this is the Olympics. It's supposed to be an even playing field. Food should be a basic requirement. Now, it does seem like there is one exception to this, and it's that the chocolate muffins in the Olympic Village are apparently just really good.
I feel like you're just here for the zip line.
What?
I have seen so many TikToks about how good the chocolate muffins are at the Olympic Village, and so under every single TikTok complaining about the food quality there, there's always one person who has to say, "Oh, well, try the muffins, they're really good." See, this is the level of journalism that just wasn't available to us 10 years ago. Now, the final story I want to talk about is probably my favorite, but if I actually say it, I'm probably going to get demonetized. So let's just say it has to do with vigorous reproduction. And I'm so sorry, that was probably the grossest way I could have said that. Every year, the Olympic Village devolves into one whole big intimate experience. And what could you expect? It's a gathering of the most in shape, attractive, physically stunning people in the world. People are gonna wanna get their groove on. And out of fear that this would be a huge distraction for some athletes, Paris installed what they called like bang-proof cardboard beds that if you tried to do anything rough on them, they would collapse. Which is funny because you'd think with people who are as strong and agile as these people, you don't think they could do the deeds standing up? You think that these people need to lay down to do the dirty? Now, the actual drama from this story comes from a couple days ago, when several TikTok users realized, hey, if you're in Paris to watch the Olympics, you can just change your Tinder location to be in the Olympic Village and hopefully get an Olympic baby daddy.
Whoever said to change your location to the Olympic Village currently in Paris to match with the Olympian, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for adding to the lore that I will tell my future children about. I mean, we had to. I had to do this for my future children. These future Olympians aren't gonna come from nothing. Passion overcomes hard work.
Absolutely genius, right? Well, the issue is that when they shared this over TikTok, it got so popular that now the Olympic Village Tinder is just flooded with regular ass out of shape people, so that the actual athletes who are trying to match with other Olympians can't find them.
And so far, I think I've seen a total of 2 other Olympians. I mean, don't get me wrong, you Parisian men, beautiful, beautiful, chef's kiss. Like, I don't know what they put in the water. But, you know, I went in with the expectations of, you know, finding some of my future plot lines, but
somehow the people in Paris are so down bad, they crossed over to making every Olympian celibate. And that's so funny. Anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about. I know there wasn't a lot to these stories, but I wanted to get this video out as fast as possible because I think it's hilarious. I'm planning on posting this video the day after I record it, but there's probably gonna be like a dozen more stories that come out by that time. So just enjoy this horse doing dressage as well because he's sort of funky. And let me know what your favorite moment from the Olympic was. Have a nice damn rest of your day.